Did you know there's been a huge update in YNW Melly's case about his possible release date? It says, a second bond hearing for YNW Melly has been scheduled for Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Melly's attorney Raven Liberty will be arguing for his release on bond, but here's where it gets interesting. Someone sitting in the courtroom said the judge in Melly's case looks like he's seriously considering dropping the case. He looked angry. Apparently, the state still isn't taking the case seriously. They're not following court orders or properly preparing for hearings, but this might all be part of the prosecutor's plan. That's because they just made a major move. They've filed paperwork to have YNW Bortland and YNW Melly tried together. Why? For one very specific reason: to pressure Bortland into testifying against Melly.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It's just common sense. If YNW Bortland knows he didn't commit this serious crime, there's no way he'll just sit back and accept a life sentence. That makes it very likely he'll end up turning on Melly and telling the truth about what really happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie. What most people don't know is that Melly's lawyers already tried to blame Bortland during the first trial.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with and when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
That was actually Melly's own lawyer, saying it was YNW Bortland who had been lying to the feds. He was the one who had gunpowder residue on his hand, which usually comes from firing a gun, and he was also the last person seen with Sack Chaser, and Juvie Melly's legal team even brought in a forensic expert who worked on the case to explain in more detail how Bortland ended up with the gunpowder on him.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of hot residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of hot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was hot residue present on the hands.
It looked like YNW Bortland was ready to get revenge as soon as court ended. That's why right after Melly's mistrial was announced, a report said that Bortland tweeted a mysterious message. The tweet said, "Mind games don't work on people like me," with a handshake emoji, almost like he was accepting a deal. His lawyers were probably telling him to stay quiet and wait for Melly's case to finish first. Now it seems like Bortland is ready to tell the truth. This caught the judge's attention. He then asked Melly's lawyers to show proof for why Melly should be released. In response, Melly's legal team told Judge Fiend that no firearm was ever found.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
While also sharing the GPS evidence from when the crime was going down, showing YW Melly sprinting away down the street.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like there's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Zach and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
As this was Mellier's defense to the new information about Bortland, he revealed there's no firearm ever found. This supports the claims of a drive-by, as YNW Melly said, but the GPS also proves that YNW Melly did make an effort to get away from the crime scene. But leave a like on the video if you believe that's enough to get him released, because the prosecutors, they were not afraid. They would stand up and deliver another shocking piece of evidence, giving the newly added judge what Mellier's motive was. A rogue O-Black member recently would snitch against Melly, revealing his motive to commit the crime. Was Melly not wanting to share finances with Sack Chaser, and Juvie did Vaughn.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This was part of Melly's defense against the new claims about Bortland. His team said that no firearm was ever found, which supports Melly's story. That it was a drive-by shooting. GPS data also showed that Melly tried to run away from the scene. If you think that's enough proof for him to be released, leave a like on the video, but the prosecutors weren't backing down. They came forward with another shocking piece of evidence. They told the new judge what they believed was Melly's motive. A former O-Black member recently spoke out, saying that Melly didn't want to share money with Sack Chaser and Juvie, and King Von knew about this.
The PZ Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also found on Mellier's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Borland's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
They didn't show even a hint of sadness for losing their two best friends. But what you may not know is that something even more serious is happening behind the scenes. The reason prosecutors are taking their time with Melly's case is actually part of a much bigger plan. They found disturbing evidence in Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah's iCloud account. It shows that Melly tried to force her not to testify during the first trial. That's called witness tampering, and it's a serious crime that can lead to life in prison, even if Melly didn't actually kill Sack Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Since Melly already had one missed trial, there's a real chance he could be found not guilty in the case about Sack Chaser and Juvie. But if there's strong proof that Melly told his ex-girlfriend not to testify, and he's found guilty of witness tampering, he could still get life in prison. This is a completely separate case from the original one, which also means more lawyer fees. Mariah, his ex-girlfriend, was arrested when she came back to the US last month. She made a deal with the judge. If she agrees to testify against Melly in the next trial, she'd be released from jail, and she accepted afterwards. She wrote on Facebook, "Thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." She was reportedly upset that this deal got reported on the local news.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
They didn't show any real emotion after losing two of their closest friends. But what most people don't know is that something even more serious is going on behind the scenes. Prosecutors are taking their time for a reason. It's all part of a bigger strategy. They discovered disturbing evidence in the iCloud account of Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah. It reportedly shows that Melly pressured her not to testify during his first trial. That's called witness tampering, and it's a major crime that can lead to life in prison, even if Melly didn't actually kill Sack Chaser and Juvie.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if the evidence is true that Melly's been using the jail phones to commit witness tampering, that's why they stopped him from using it. They must have the actual evidence stored away. They wouldn't keep him off of the phones if it was just a hunch. They have concrete evidence. Due to this, Jaime King would reveal she's absolutely heartbroken for her son. She feels helpless as he's not even being treated like a human.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
But what else do we know about YNW Melly's mother? As it was announced, YNW Melly's mom trends after she announces she started a fans account while he stands trial, to then being featured on an interview speaking on why she did it and how much money she made.
Why did you decide to break the internet the other day? You're saying that you're YNW Melly's mom and you're about to hit fans.
Why not? You make money while you sleep, and I turned 40 this year. Why not do something crazy?
Did you start it yet though?
What? My only? Yeah.
How much you made the first day? I just need to know the first day.
The first day was pretty epic. It was pretty epic.
Give me a ballpark figure.
Like 40-ish, 50.
One day?
Day one.
This would end up taking the internet by storm. Even DJ Academics had to say.
YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's gonna be starting her own. And I gotta be honest with y'all, man, like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
As while Academics claims it's not about the money, social media would disagree. Fans would begin investigating and would find a no-jumper interview from 2 years ago with Adam B. Slim and Jamie King, where Adam would tell Melier's mother he imagines Melia spent a lot of money on lawyers while she would sit back and begin giggling. His own brother, YWB Slime, would call out his brother for dumb purchases.
I would assume
that
he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry? You're not here to wear the jewelry.
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro.
But after further investigation, some fans believe Melia's mother's also making this income to support the second court case of the witness tampering charge. It's important to note what Jaime King has been going through having to watch her own son go through a trial to this extent, especially being alleged to have committed this serious of a crime, as the fan's account could also just be an outlet for her to get her mind off of her son's trial, as we all saw during the original trial, Melly, having to ask her several times if she's okay.
Don't do it.